Hey guys, welcome back to Team Death Slinger. My name is Peter, and today, if you remember, in BT4, we got a yellow Growlmon and yellow WarGrowlmon. So my Discord's been talking about using those cards to build a yellow base Gallantmon X deck, and that's what we're going to look at today. So if you want to be involved in conversations like this, make sure you click the link in the description down below. Come join the Discord. Have a good time. We like to talk about fun decks over there. Starting with our eggs, 4 copies of BT16 Upamon. Opponent's turn, while this Digimon has 2 or more colors, it gains blocker. Gallantmon X has 3 colors. That gives Gallantmon X blocker. We have Medieval Gallantmon also will gain blocker. And our Boltboutamon will also have blocker. It's just a nice egg to have as a defensive resource because we are playing a little bit of jank. Moving on to our rookies, we're going to borrow a lot of the GeoGreymon suite here. We have 3 copies of the EX4 Agumon. Evos for 0 on Coromon, you will be paying 1 for this. On the Upamon, start of your main phase, if you have a red or yellow Tamer in play, you gain memory. So if we have Takato set up, this does guarantee us the 2 memory play. And then your turn, when one of your red or yellow Tamers becomes suspended, you draw 1. This is a nice way to net a memory off of deleting a Digimon. If you have Takato in play, you gain the 1, and then you draw a card off of this card. You can substitute this for BT16 Agumon, but I think everyone's tired of hearing about that card, so this was my kind of draw engine piece of choice. We have 4 copies of the BT16 Agumon. We're never going to use this on play effect. We're not looking for Light Fang or Nightclaw pieces. What we care about is that this is a 0 cost Evo on a yellow level 2, and the inheritable says all of your opponent's security Digimon get minus 3k DP. That's really powerful for letting our 5k, our level 5 suite get in there for some early damage. We have the Takato, so our WarGrowlmons can't swing when we Evo into them, and the minus 3k makes some relatively safe checks, which is really nice for the aggro on the low end of this deck. We also have 4 copies of the BT17 Agumon. When attacking by suspending yellow Tamer, you draw 1. That will never happen as well, but it's another 3k security effect that basically makes us safe when we swing. So that's why we're running 4 copies of this card as well. For our level 4s, we have 1 copy of the restricted BT13 GeoGreymon. Because we're running all the dinosaur trait Agumons, we might as well run this. If we happen to hit a Takato in security, great, we get a free Takato. If not, we're not really stressing about it. The inheritable says when one of your red or yellow Tamers becomes suspended, you pop a 3k or less. Nice way to remove floodgates off the board. But for the most part, this is just for the free Tamer if we hit it. We then have 4 copies of the EX4 GeoGreymon. Start of your main phase, if you have a red or yellow Tamer, you gain 1 memory. If we have Takato, gain a memory. Still a nice effect. Your turn, when one of your red or yellow Tamers becomes suspended, draw 1. Same premise as the Agumon. It's draw when we tap the Takato down. We have 2 copies of the BT4 Growlmon. It is included because that was the idea that sparked this deck. It is not particularly great. The inheritable says when you have 3 or fewer security cards, this Digimon gets 1k DP, but it is here, and it is filling out the level 4 slot with whatever's not filled by GeoGreymons. We do have 3 copies of the BT12 GeoGreymon. When Digivolving, you can play a Marcus Damon. We're not running Marcus Damon. You could run the Memory Setter Marcus Damon that lets you draw a card when you swing, because we do have some X Antibody play shenanigans that we can use, but this is for the most part just using the inheritable. When one of your yellow or red Tamers becomes suspended, one of your opponent's Digimon get minus 2k for the turn. Now, you might be wondering, why are we bothering to use the GeoGreymon level 4 suite if we're not getting a whole lot of value off of this? And the answer for that is because we need to be able to get into both of our level 5s. By using the yellow and red level 4s, we can tuck X Antibody under either of these level 4s and then swing and Evo into the WarGrowlmon X-Antibody. So this is from EX8. It costs 4 on a level 4. We're going to hopefully be swinging and Evoing into this with the X-Antibody, or swinging and Evoing off the WarGrowlmon to get into this. But it is 1 on WarGrowlmon. When Digivolving into the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon can't be returned to hand or deck and get 3k DP. Then if WarGrowlmon or X-Antibody is in its sources, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 10k DP or less. Very great deletion effect, and security plus 1 inheritable is nice as well. Now, that effect is really strong when paired with the BT4 WarGrowlmon. These cards surprisingly have pretty decent synergy. This costs 3 to Evo on a level 4. And Digiburst 2, you can trash 2 sources to give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 4k DP for the turn. What's kind of funny about that is if you Digiburst and then Evo into the WarGrowlmon X, you're giving something minus 4k and then deleting a 10k DP or less. You can pop up to a 14k with this WarGrowlmon underneath your WarGrowlmon X, and it doesn't actually make it a necessarily bad feeling level 5 in the deck. If you have to, you can use this plus the WarGrowlmon X to pop a bigger body. You can use just the Digiburst effect to get rid of a smaller body, or you can just skip Digibursting and just use the WarGrowlmon X Evo effect to pop a medium-sized body. So you have a lot of range on your coverage options there. And then your turn, while you have 3 or fewer security cards, this Digimon gains 1k DP. It's nice. It kind of comes up, but it doesn't necessarily matter the most. For our level 6s, 1 copy of the EX8 Medieval Gallantmon. You can suspend 2 Digimon down to reduce the play cost by 4 to play this for 7. Because we have the WarGrowlmon X's, we can actually Evo into this. We don't just have to hard slam it down. Has Alliance and Vortex. When digivolving, suspend a Digimon, and then you can delete one of your opponent's 8k or lower. For each other suspended Digimon, you add 3k to the effect maximum. And then all turns when Digimon are played, you activate one of this Digimon's when digivolving effects. Really strong card in EX8. It's going in just about every deck right now, but it pairs nicely with Gallantmon X, so we're going to run it at 1 if you have it. Then we have 4 copies of the Gallantmon X-Antibody. Evos on Gallantmon for 1, we're never going to do that. Otherwise, it is a 4 cost on a red or yellow level 4. We don't have a blue, or sorry, level 5. We don't have a blue level 5. When digivolving and when attacking, not once per turn, if Gallantmon or X Antibody is in this Digimon's Digivolution cards until the end of your opponent's turn, this Digimon gets 4k DP, and one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 4k DP. When digivolving and end of attack, once per turn, delete one of your opponent's 10k DP or lower Digimon. If this effect didn't delete, trash your opponent's top security card and this Digimon unsuspends. And then all turns while you have 0 or less memory, this Digimon isn't affected by your opponent's Digimon effects. So this is an insanely aggressive card, has built-in protection, and it just pairs really nicely with the new WarGrowlmon X support. So you can kind of get in there, make this guy big, give minus 4k to something. Ideally, you'd be trashing a security, swinging 2 checks, unsuspending, swinging 2 checks. You have 5 damage on board just with the security +1 inherit and the Gallantmon X on board. You do need the X Antibody underneath this card to make it a really, really good boss monster, though. So that is kind of the trick to this deck. We don't have a yellow Gallantmon to play to get underneath them, so we're hinging on that X Antibody. We have 1 copy of the EX8 Boltboutamon. When digivolving, de-digivolve 3 on one of your opponent's Digimon, and for the turn, all of their Digimon get minus 6k DP. We are not going to get the DNA Digivolve effect because we cannot actually DNA Digivolve into this card. And then all turns when other Digimon are deleted, trash your opponent's top security. So ideally, this will be de-digivolving something, giving it minus 6k, popping it, and then trashing a security. You could also go Ruin Mode in the slot if you're really bankrolling with the medieval Gallantmon and the 4 copies of Gallantmon X, and then the Ruin Mode. But otherwise, this is a nice economy option in face of that. For our other level 7, 2 copies of the Crimson Mode Ace goes on top of a card with Gallantmon in name for 4, and then on play when digivolving, delete up to 15k DP total worth of your opponent's Digimon, and then when attacking, for every 10 cards total on both players' trashes, trash the top card of your opponent's security. Great finisher, and good way to out other cards on the board. We have 3 copies of the BT9 X Antibody. When you have a Digimon in play, use this card without meeting its color requirements. Security effect gains your memory and adds it to the hand. And then when attacking, you can evo into a Digimon card with X Antibody in its traits in your hand for its Digivolution cost. I really don't feel like Protoform is necessary in this deck. You can tuck this X Antibody underneath your GeoGreymons, swing, evo into the WarGrowlmon X. You can tuck it under the WarGrowlmon, swing, evo into the WarGrowlmon X with the security minus effect on the inheritable. This gets really safe. It's swinging at 11k with the security reduced by 3k. You're safe up to 14k. Really, really, really safe. Then we have 2 copies of Yellow Scramble. Nice for reducing our Evo cost. We do have some 4 cost Evos into the Gallantmon X. And if it gets hit in security, it's going to play you a 2k rookie back from the trash. 4 copies of Physical Training. Kind of our middle ground search option in this deck. We don't have necessarily the best ways to dig. I'm not in love with yellow memory boost in this deck. You could run the yellow-purple memory boost, but you still whiff all your red pieces no matter what. That's going to dig you a little bit deeper, so you have a higher chance of missing your red cards and your X Antibodies. So I like the Physical Training because we only dig too deep. You can use it specifically when you need a yellow piece, and it feels like it hurts the least when you whiff something. 3 copies of Takato. We want to see it at least once. It's going to set us up for our memory gain for Agumon and GeoGreymon memory gain effects, and it's just good in the deck. And then we have 2 copies of the Cool Boy from BT9, reveals top 3, adds a card with X Antibody and an option card with X Antibody in its traits among them to your hand. The rest go bottom deck, and then when you evo into a same level X Antibody card, you can suspend this Tamer to gain a memory draw card. That will only trigger with our WarGrowlmon into WarGrowlmon X, but the reason we have this is because this is the only card we have that can actually search for this X Antibody card. So it's going to be a way we can find X Antibody, and it can also search our WarGrowlmon X's and our Gallantmon X's. This is searchable by Physical Training. This card is not, so realistically it finds 2 of our 4 cards that can't be searched. The only things that we still can't search are going to be the Crimson Mode Ace and the Takatos. But other than that, I mean, it's kind of, it helps fill in the gap for things that we can and can't find. So that's going to be it for yellow-based Gallantmon X. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Obviously, this is not a competitive deck. It's just fun. It was a nice thought, and we followed through on it. The Discord was really interested in it. So this is kind of what I came up with. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Did you even try using yellow base for Gallantmon X? Did you try going back to the WarGrowlmon the Gallantmon? That'll be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Thank you to our YouTube members for supporting this channel. It's people like Langlong, Big Z11, Coffee Deus, and Octavian who make videos like this possible.